Welcome to Student Connections, where students connect with their community.
Hello, and welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. I'm Mickey Brass, and today I have Petty Officer Harris joining me for an interview. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
So, how long have you been in the Navy, and where have you served, as in ships and stuff like that?
Well, I've been in the Navy for 6 years. I joined in July of 2007. I graduated out of Port Huron High, 2007 again. Mm-hmm. And I went from Great Lakes, Illinois, where the Navy boot camp is. We only have one boot camp. And I went from there to Gulfport, Mississippi, became a welder, and then I've gone to Rota, Spain. I went there for 8 months and just really got a nice tan. Did some good work, you know. I also went out to Guam, beautiful, went really nice diving, a lot of good construction up there. I also went out to Christmas Island, which not a lot of people know where that is. Mm-hmm. It's actually out in the Pacific, in the middle of nowhere. You have Hawaii and you have about Japan, mm-hmm. and you put it dead center on the equator. That's where Christmas Island is, and they have nothing. It's just all coral grounds and coconut trees.
Oh, really?
So we went there. We built 3 high schools. We built two hospitals, mm-hmm. and a bunch of solar-powered water pumps so they can actually get clean water. On top of that, we actually brought over 10,000 books, and on the weekends we would go out there and read to the students, teach them English, read them even Dr. Seuss, you know, try to introduce American culture to them a little bit, because the only thing they actually knew out there was John Cena from WWE. I don't understand how, but they did. But after that, my third deployment was to Afghanistan. I was what was called vehicle commander for rear security of the convoy. Mm-hmm. And I did 8 months out in Afghanistan. You know, really not the prettiest country, but, you know, a lot of good work done out there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just learning about that in AP World History, all their culture. But how long did you become involved with the recruiting area? How did you become? Well,
I did my initial 5 years. You know, my contract for the battalion that I went to, NMCB 11, out of Gulfport, Mississippi, was a 5-year contract. And they look for high qualified, motivated sailors to become recruiters because they need a good face for the Navy saying, hey, you know, come join the Navy, be a part of our brotherhood, sisterhood type thing. And honestly, I got very lucky to get this area. Yeah. I put in a special request for it, and I got selected, and now I'm here spending time with my family. I graduated here again, so I have a lot of family. I'm having a blast here. Yeah.
Just had the face for it and everything?
Pretty much.
Just had the face.
I got very lucky, honestly. I saw an opening. Our orders come out, and they say you need to pick at orders. I could have gone to Italy. I could have gone to a bunch of other places. I ended up in Port Huron, Michigan.
I ended up right back where you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted to spend time with my family. Yeah. So it was a good choice.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of family, let's talk about your personal background. Your father was also in the Navy. Your family has just lived in Port Huron?
My father came from Port Huron. He actually graduated out of Northern High School, I think around 86, 85.
You had the Northern Port Huron conflict?
You know, I wanted to go to Northern because my father went there, but where we ended up getting a house, it was closer to Port Huron High. My cousin went there, but you know what? I had a good time with Port Huron. My dad did 20 years. He was a naval diver, which I don't know if you saw the movie, but Men of Honor with Cuba Gooding Jr.
I think I have.
It's a good movie. It shows what the Navy diver, how prideful Navy divers are.
Yeah.
But he did 20 years. He retired, and he was looking for a job in the Port Huron area, was hiring for the sheriff department. There's 144 people in line to get, I think, about 4 or 5 positions. Already in line, my father puts in an application and gets put to the front of the line, picked up, I think, a few days later because he had Navy on his resume. He had no background with working with police or anything else in the Navy. It was just literally he had Navy on his resume. And they hired him, and he's been working there for about 8 years.
8 years? Wow.
8 years.
Just got the luck going on in the family too.
You know, honestly, you know, my dad did 20, and we had a blast moving around. I've moved around a lot as a kid, down south, everywhere else. You know, I joined, my brother Raymond joined, a year younger than me, and John, another few years younger. We're all three in the military.
You're all in the
or
military?
In the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you plan to stay with the Navy for a career, or do you have other plans, like how your father with like the sheriff and everything?
The Navy will have to kick me out because I love being in the Navy. I'm part of what they call the Navy Seabees. John Wayne's actually an honorary Seabee. They made a movie called The Fighting Seabees. It's an old black and white movie. I don't expect a lot of the youth to have seen that by now, but you could probably ask your grandma or grandpa, they've probably seen it. But we're the actual part of the Navy that doesn't go on a ship. We're boots on ground like Army and Marine Corps. Our primary job is construction for humanitarian and combat. We can sustain ourselves. We can defend our area and get the construction done at the same time. We don't need Marines or Army to give us support.
Oh, that's good. So what has been the most surprising part of recruiting so far?
The late hours. I work a lot of hours, honestly. You know, every job comes around about 8 to 12 hours a day. I'm just looking for, I work a lot, and you know, the time flies by. I get to go to a bunch of different schools. I get to get presentations to classrooms, and by the end of the day, I'm already realizing it's 7 o'clock at night. It's pretty much time to go to bed. Biggest surprise, that's about it, is the late hours. So far, I love my job. I've only been doing it for a month and a half.
Yeah, like I remember seeing those commercials all the time. If you work doing something you love, you never spend a day working in your life, and I just find that really true and everything.
Well, yeah, it's very true. I welded in high school at the tech center, and I got a job with the Navy to weld and do more, and it's a hobby to me. So
Yeah.
I really love my job in every way. The recruiting is fun as well.
Do you meet with parents as part of the recruiting process?
We ask all of our applicants who come in to us to bring their parents in because we want to talk to them, because there's usually always confusions. Like a lot of people will be scared, saying, you know, they'll tell their children, you can't join the military, you're going to die, type thing. You know? And that's how most, or another good example is that the recruiter's just going to lie to you because they want you to join the military, that you're just a number to them. And honestly, it could have been that way in the past, but that's not what we do here. My job is specifically to show the rest of my area, show the area what the Navy can do, what opportunities they have for us, and look for qualified applicants. And the majority of them come to us. I'm not going knocking on doors. I'm not calling everybody. I'm not trying to pull people into my office. I don't want somebody to join the Navy who doesn't want to join the Navy, because 3 years when I leave recruiting and I go back to a battalion or I go wherever I'm going to go, I don't want to see that kid who is mad that he got forced into the Navy. That's just wrong. I want a good relationship between me and the future sailor, so we become partners, or brothers or sisters, if you will, when they get to the actual fleet.
Yeah, so it impacts them differently if, like, say the mom and dad wouldn't come, or does it just really stay the same?
It depends on the applicant. Most of the applicants, I'll ask them, I say, do your parents know that you're looking into the military? I won't even say Navy, the military. And most of them will say, yeah, and they either support them or they don't support them, and I try to ask why. And I try to tell them to come, bring their parents, or we will come to them. We'll actually go sit in their living room to where, it's not behind our desk, not in our little area in Port Huron. We'll actually come to your house where you feel comfortable, and we will answer every question that they have that's possibly doubtful or they're confused about. We want to talk to the parents, because overall we don't want them to hate the Navy. We want them,
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. That sounds interesting. We'll be back with more about the U.S. Navy after this. Thank you.
Some dreams are universal. Dreams that inspire us. Multiple sclerosis is a devastating disease that changes lives forever. The National MS Society does more for people with MS than any organization in the world. But we can't do it alone. To get involved, visit us online at nationalmssociety.org or call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
114th Infantry Company, Iraq.
The memories are all blurred.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
The words, they're hard to find.
I came back a different person.
I wonder if she's better off without me.
You just feel alone.
You gave all to the cause of freedom. Now it's our turn to give our all to you. It's free and totally confidential. Reach us at operationnotforgotten.com. We are here.
Hello, and welcome back to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. And we're talking about the U.S. Navy recruiting system with Petty Officer Harris. Okay, and one of the questions are, what are the potential recruits comparing with the Navy and the Army and the Air Force and Marines?
Well, most of our applicants come in and they do look at the Army, they do look at the Air Force, and they look at the Marine Corps. They're shopping, and they should be. They're looking for their, possible future. They're looking for the opportunities that will better, their career or what they want to get in their life. And I highly advise them to go look at the different branches so they can see what they really want.
Yeah, like just how you said you wanted to find something where it wasn't necessarily a job, it was more something like a hobby, like something you enjoy doing.
Yeah. The Air Force, the Army, and I believe even the Marine Corps has a welding program. And I know the Air Force's program is excellent with welding because I've actually worked with their welding group. They're called Red Horse. And I looked around a little bit. When I joined the Navy, or before I joined the Navy, I'm sorry, my mother wanted me to talk to the Navy at least because I was dead set on joining the Marine Corps because I wanted to fight for my country. And I did. I talked with the Navy and they showed me all the opportunities and advantages that the Navy could offer me. And most of them are all about the same that the branches can offer you. It depends on what you really want, what uniform you want to wear and what you want your primary job to be.
Yeah.
And I chose the Navy and I wouldn't go back on it another day. I've really, really enjoyed my career.
And when they're coming in there shopping, as you said, what are some of the advantages that the Navy has to offer?
Well, we have a lot of different things to offer right now, especially for seniors in high school or even juniors as they're going to go into their senior year this year. It's called an NROTC program. It's a scholarship that's worth $180,000, and they can go to the University of Michigan, they can go to Western Michigan, 450 other colleges and universities. And basically what they do is they go into a field of their interest. They do 4 years of college, everything paid for, and they even get a little bit of pocket change for food and entertainment kind of, And they do 4 years of college, they get their degree, and then they do 4 years as a commissioned officer. Basically the guys who are going to be in charge of me, I salute them, And that's one of our opportunities. A lot of people come to us for college, and you don't have to go to, college and you become an officer for our opportunities. We had the tuitions assistance. We had the post 9/11 Montgomery GI Bill. We have so many different opportunities, and the Navy wants you to actually pursue college. They want you to further your education, and that's where most people come to us for is actual education, travel. We go port to port, or in my instance, I fly. I fly out of Gulfport, Mississippi. I stop in Maryland. I fly to Spain. I jump from there to Germany. I jump all over the place. I've been to Europe, I've been to the Pacific Islands. We do a lot of different traveling. And the Navy's in Afghanistan. The Navy's been in the Middle East. We're everywhere.
Okay. And where is your territory, where you recruit, and how do you get your name out to potential recruits?
Well, some of the schools that I have, for example, I have Marysville High School, great school. I have Port Huron High, Port Huron Northern, Anchor Bay, as far down as Marine City, and even up to Sandusky. My partner takes the schools further up on the thumb of Michigan, to the top of the thumb. But each division that we're in, we're branched off, and where we don't have the territory,
Yeah.
another recruiting office will actually take over for that area, and they're in charge of that. So we cover the entire state of Michigan, and we cover Indiana. But my specific recruiting station, I cover just basically the St. Clair County.
Okay. And what are the positives about enlisting into the U.S. Navy?
Positives, like I said before, college opportunities. You're going to get your college paid for. You want to get an associate's, you want to get a bachelor's, you want to get a master's degree. It's going to be paid for, whatever you want to get it in. The Navy doesn't say because I'm a welder that I can only get a degree in, construction. I can go get a degree in criminal justice to become a police officer after I get out of here. I can get in business management. I get rewarded for it. Doing college, getting a degree actually gives me better advantages of getting promoted even. It gives me points towards my advancement. It makes me look, better. The Navy wants us to do college.
Yeah. And when a young person begins the process, do they have a say in the types of positions or training they would prefer?
When they come in, the first thing that we do, let's go with a school visit. We'll go to like a lunchroom. We have these surveys, and there's a bunch of different items on there, like are they interested in travel, are they interested in welding or medical, being a doctor, dental. We bring these surveys out just for the reason of trying to find out where the interest is. So if they are interested in actually talking to us, we already have the survey, we pull it out, and we look at what they are interested in so we can talk with them about it. And we can talk with them about the kind of areas that they want, but it all comes down to what score they get on their ASVAB.
Yeah.
The higher they score, the better opportunity they have to get a lot of different jobs. But there are also disqualifying things that they can do to disqualify them from a lot of jobs.
Now, where do most recruits go for the basic training, and how long does that usually last?
Well, all recruits for the Navy go to Great Lakes, Illinois now. It's in North Chicago, Illinois. It's about half an hour to 45 minutes from Chicago, Illinois. All of them, let's say you were to join the Navy and you're going to Navy boot camp. You're going to be flown from here in Detroit. You're going to be flown over to Chicago. A very short flight. You pretty much go up and you come down. And they will pick you up from the airport, and then they bring you right on the base and you start. And Great Lakes, Illinois boot camp, it's 8 weeks long.
Yeah.
And it focuses more on technical training. A lot of people know, hey, Army, Marine Corps, they're getting dirty. They're doing a lot of push-ups, doing a lot of physical fitness. We do physical fitness, but we focus on technical training and attention to detail is what we're trying to get out of boot camp. So they work on ships. Like we have this thing called battle stations where they go for their final evolution in boot camp. And it's this big old destroyer that was made by Universal Studios. And they go into this and they do all their jobs that they're supposed to learn, how to fight fires, how to evacuate a ship, how to use everything in the ship. And what happens if their ship gets hit? The USS Cole got hit around 2000, just not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it blew a hole in the ship. And this battleship is more of a evolution to try to train you on that situation, because they blew a hole in the ship. People are going to get injured. How do you help those people that got injured? There's fires, fight the fires. The water's flooding. How do you stop it? It's a lot of, act. We need people to act because we're working with millions, billions, trillions of dollars of equipment. This stuff's not cheap. So we focus more on that instead of the physical fitness. But it's great. I loved boot camp. The food was great. You'll get people that say, oh, the food wasn't that good. I loved it. It gave you every kind of nutrient that you needed and kept me going all day.
Yeah. And after basic training, is there a second level of training, or do they just go directly into long-term training?
Well, what happens is, let's say for my example, I'm a steel worker. I graduate boot camp, and I get flown to what's called my A school. Depending on where their A school is located, it could be anywhere from Gulfport, Mississippi to Chicago, Illinois, out to Port Hueneme, California, all over the place, even in Missouri. I didn't know the Navy had anything in Missouri. They have stuff in Missouri, believe it or not. But you go to this A school. This is where you're going to learn your trade. So my trade is steel worker. I got to learn all the different kinds of fabrications for steel, welding, even building air ducts, concrete reinforcement, rebar. Builders also go to Gulfport, Mississippi. But they go to their A school, and depending on what job they get, they usually go to their A school and then they'll go to their command. But there's jobs like the nuclear power program where they'll go to almost 2 years of school. That's like 3 or 4 different schools, and then they'll go to their next command and they get accelerated advancement. They get a lot of opportunities. So usually the longer the school, the better opportunities that you have. But it just depends on what the job is. Everybody has an A school.
Okay. We'll be back to talk more about the U.S. Navy after this.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These 4 pillars shape our work and what we do for America. We work relentlessly within our 4 pillars of service, and we succeed. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. We support and promote citizenship and integrity in America's future leaders. We know what policies, tools, and manpower our military needs to protect this great country. We fight to get these things done. We're patriots through and through. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
You may be eligible for a credit on your electric bill if you experience lengthy or frequent service outages. To request the $25 credit, contact your electricity provider. For more information about the credit and tips for surviving power outages, call the Michigan Public Service Commission at 1-800-292-9555 or visit their website at michigan.gov/MPSC and click on Consumer Information. A public service message from the Michigan Public Service Commission.
Hello, and welcome back to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station, and we're here talking about the U.S. Navy. Now, what qualities or basic requirements do you look for in a potential recruit?
We're looking for a possible recruit or applicant to become one of the future sailors. We're looking for good grades in school, first of all. Let's start with that. Most people in high school, they start getting bored and they want to play video games nowadays. How many kids do you know that just focus on video games?
Trust me,
now?
I know so many. My brother, he comes home right after school, plays it until he goes to bed at 12 o'clock, and it is just torture for me.
Well, we're not looking for the kids that, just are looking for us last minute because their plans have failed. We're looking for people who are focused in their grades, that have a plan for their future. We're looking for people that don't get in trouble with the police. We don't want people that are gangbangers. We don't want people that are, starting trouble. The police job is specifically to protect us here in the United States. While we're out there, we shouldn't be fighting with our own countrymen. We don't need people who are doing that. Staying drug-free. We've been taught since we were about 5 years old DARE, right? Parents, I don't know where it comes from, but a lot of kids nowadays, especially in this area, are having problems with drugs, and we don't need that in our military. Do you want to be be out in Afghanistan, for example, with somebody who's high and can't focus, or get somebody hurt because they don't know what's going on, or in a ship they're working on millions of dollars of equipment. You don't want somebody high and not being able to work on their equipment. So we don't want somebody who has a history of doing drugs. We want people who are focused. We want smart kids, drug-free, police-free, and motivated. Motivated is my big thing. I'm looking for somebody who's motivated in the Navy. I'm not looking for, well, maybe I'll join. I'm looking for somebody who wants to be in the Navy, be my future brother, be my future sister.
And when you see those kids coming in, and like you said, like some of them are just coming in for last minute or something like that, and there's the ones that are focused, what reasons do most young people have for enlisting when they come there?
Most people, you said last minute, correct? Most people last minute, like let's say they graduate high school, they say they're going to go to college. They go to college, they drop after a semester because they realize how expensive it is, first of all, and that they hate working at a place like McDonald's. And they come to us because they know, hey, these guys came to the lunchroom all the time and did presentations and said, hey, we got great college opportunities, so they come to us. But that's usually what they come for, and we have to turn down a lot of them after that, because after high school there's a lot of potential reasons for them to get disqualified. They graduate high school, they go and party. Everybody wants to party after high school because they're adults now. And they go an underage drink, get in trouble with the police. They go do drugs, get in trouble with the police. A lot of different things, and that's just going to disqualify them. And it's sad because a lot of them end up being motivated and say, you know, I watched Active Valor, now I'm really motivated, I want to be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do anything for you now. I'm really sorry. And that's probably the worst part of my job, is having to tell somebody they can't join and they're motivated.
Now, what are the most popular training positions?
The most famous position right now in the Navy is Navy SEALs, and I'd say that about probably all branches. Everybody's seen the movie Active Valor, the new movie coming out soon, Lone Survivor. You know, there's a lot of publicity coming out about Navy SEALs now. Navy SEALs took out Osama bin Laden. Now everybody in the world wants to be a Navy SEAL because they see they're the highest quality of warrior that we have in the United States. I'd say the world. And most people will back that up. The Navy SEALs are amazing. They go through the most grueling training, and they do a lot of hard things and unspeakable things to get that gold trident.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. I've worked with some great ones in Afghanistan. They know their job, and they're all heroes.
Now, if someone is looking for more information, how can they contact you?
Well, we're located next north end of Port Huron. Next between Ted's Coney Island and Daybreak Cafe. I'll leave you guys my information. Just give us a call. You can call 1-800-USA Navy. You can go on the internet. Everybody uses the internet now. You can go to the website and find the nearest recruiter. All you have to do is just give us a call. We don't bite. We just want to talk. My best part of the day is being able to sit down and talk with people. I hate sitting at a computer and just typing. I really enjoy being able to sit down and talk with people, whether they're interested in the Navy or not. Just being able to talk about the Navy and the things that I've done, things I've seen. That's all I look for, is just to be able to talk with people.
Okay. That's all we have today here on Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. We thank Petty Officer Harris for joining us today, and we also thank you for serving our country.
Absolutely.
Join us again next time on M6, your hometown station.